Okay, so what I'm showing today obviously is the M36HUB. Obviously on GitHub they're still showing version 1.0, so this says 1.1. So I'm not sure yet what the difference is. I'm going to make some inquiries. But this is the other prize I won during the live event. So let me take that out of here so we can show you what it comes with. Obviously you get a bunch of little of the JST connectors, ultimately for all of the plugs that it would go to. So your thermistor, your heater cartridge, any other things like fans, especially if you have a NeoPixel or LEDs obviously that are RGB that you want to hook up. Obviously this will give you the ability to connect it to the board. So opening this up now, keep in mind right now this obviously came pre-wired, with a 8-pin connector. Only six of the pins are actually used at the moment. This is set up to work with the new Bull Ant version 1 of the FYSETC boards. So you would literally, for a Voron 0.1, 0.2, you would just plug this into the main board, hook this to the back of your tool head, which is like maybe the mini stealth burner or similar, and then ultimately can go from there. Doing some research, these are set to default as USB, so there's clearly on that board, the way that it talks to this device is through a USB communication. So it probably will be needed to be treated in that way. They also list the Catalyst 2.0 will also work with this little tool head board. So ultimately I'm sure they have a similar connector or adapter that is intended for that. As you can see here on it, we have places for 2 RGB LEDs. That means you can get the proverbial logo LED and the nozzle LEDs that you would do on a stealth burner. Obviously your stepper motor being the NEMA 14 motor. You have your hot end, obviously heater cartridge here, or if you have an appropriate type, a ceramic heating core, obviously to heat your hot end. This is where you would plug in obviously another I/O of some kind, where you can define it later on. And then on the back side we have obviously big fat heatsink for the stepper driver, which is a nice addition. Ultimately we have places here for thermistor. Obviously that's that little thing that says heat is obviously for an LED telling you when it's doing it. But we have fan 1, fan 0, I think this was fan 2, yeah. Then you have thermistors either side, and if I remember correctly that was another I/O. I'd have to look at the GitHub again because I didn't memorize it, not gonna lie there. But you got your boot and reset buttons there should you need them. But the way that this thing's wired right at the moment, 2 of those wires are the boot and reset, so I'm assuming that by dropping those low you can also do the same, and they probably give the ability. It is based on an STM processor. There it is. There you go. STM32. The F07. Obviously. But yeah, obviously this is something I'm going to try and adapt because I think it would be usable. And it's smaller, lighter weight, and believe it or not, hiding under here, there is actually, I don't know if you can see it. See that little XY thing there? There's an ADXL 345 sitting under there. So you have your input shaper ability right on this little board, and it literally is only as big as your stepper motor, obviously. So you could probably use this on a number of different hot ends once it's been rewired. And according to what I could figure out, and I'm waiting for some confirmation on that, once it's been flashed using the USB protocol, obviously that can change into CAN bus. But I'm wondering if it can be done at the same time, or if there's another way to do this, or is there, somewhere on here that I should be using, like maybe these pins here, for example, IO12, might be able to patch the USB for flashing, for example. So I'm waiting for some information on that regard as to how that gets done, and that way I can switch it to CAN bus, obviously, because I don't use USB for the tool head. There we go. That's all there is to it, and obviously that was one of the items won during the live event. As you know, FYSETC is having their 10th anniversary, 10 years in the business, making things that we ideally want for our printing DIYs and otherwise. Have a great day.